You're the Cuban Cowboy. You're from Miami like me. How'd you get into becoming the Cuban Cowboy? And what was the story behind that?
Bro, I think it was like 13, 14 years old, middle school, early high school age. I had a girlfriend who liked country music.
That'll do it for you.
That'll do it.
What's been your biggest setback in your path right now?
I think there's been a few. I'll take you to one of the earlier ones. It was last year.
How'd you get through it?
I needed to reset. I was going crazy up there, man. I was like,
Somebody as smart always said to me, man, if you're going through shit, just keep going.
keep going, yeah.
What was the hesitation?
I didn't know if I was very good. It was kind of like imposter syndrome, you know? Am I actually good at this? Do I actually have a leg to stand on here? And I called my parents the first day I was there. I was like, guys, I don't think I should be here.
Any other goals you have coming up that you want to?
Yes, there's several, man. I mean, I think I've enlisted to play Tortuga, to play the Grand Ole Opry.
What's next?
Bro, I'm so excited for what's coming up. So I'm releasing a project next, 6-song EP called The...
Welcome back to another edition of Industry Talks Hospitality Podcast. I'm here with a good friend and honored guest, the Cuban Cowboy himself, Orlando Mendez. Orlando, thanks for being here, man.
What's going on, Emi? Thanks for having me, bro. This is awesome.
No, this is great. Thank you. I like to have every so often an entertainer who I admire, listen to, and am a fan of, and I'm glad that you're giving us your time. I just want to jump right into it, if you don't mind, dude. First of all, I know some of your history, and you're from Miami like me. How'd you get into becoming the Cuban Cowboy, and what was the story behind that? When did you find your love from passion for country?
Man, well, you know, growing up here in Miami, not a lot of country music. I definitely didn't, and so my upbringing was all, you know, definitely hip hop, pop, rock. My dad was like a '90s grunge guy.
No way.
Yeah, and so my mom liked salsa and stuff like that, and so those were my influences growing up. But then when I was like, bro, I think it was like 13, 14 years old, that like middle school, early high school age, I found I had a girlfriend who liked country music.
That'll do it for you.
That'll do it. Yeah, and she liked country music, and one of the guys, the first guy she showed me was a dude named Darius Rucker.
Okay.
And Darius, I started listening to one of his songs called Comeback Song, and I immediately, something sounded familiar about his voice, right? I was like, dude, this voice, it sounds like a voice I've heard before. It just felt familiar, felt like my childhood. Come to find out, he's Hootie and the Blowfish.
No way.
He was Hootie and the Blowfish, and it was an anthem from my childhood, which was,
Yeah.
You only want to be
course.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm such a baby that the dolphins make me cry.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And man, I just fell in love with that song Comeback Song, and then started diving into his catalog, which brought me to guys like Blake Shelton and Billy Currington and Dierks Bentley and all the people doing it at that time. And I fell in love with the stories in the songs, man. The way that each song told a story, connected with me in a different way. And dude, I was hooked. Like, I was hooked on country music.
No way. But now, this all happened when you were like a teenager, then.
Yeah.
And by the way, the funny how you mentioned we have a mutual friend. A girl that he dated said, "Hey, you know, you're a DJ, right?" And he's like, "Of course I'm a DJ." The guy became a DJ.
I did become a DJ. Yeah. Chicks will do it to you, bro.
Chicks will do it to you.
Chicks will do it to you.
But that's fantastic. And then what happened next? So you're into it. At some point, you decided to pick up a guitar.
Yeah, so it wasn't until many years later. Like, so I was like early high school, and then I obviously graduated high school. Went to the University of Florida. I studied acting because I've
Gator. My wife's a Gator.
Go
She'll
Gators,
there
baby.
you go.
We're hurting right now, but go Gators.
She'll be happy to hear this.
Absolutely, man. And so I went up there, studied acting. I've kind of done entertainment my whole life. I've always felt most comfortable on a stage, you know.
Yeah, I saw that you did acting in you studied it.
Yeah, I studied it up at UF, and then I spent the next few years after I graduated back and forth from Miami to New York in auditioning for plays, doing like small commercials, little like indie film stuff. And then obviously the pandemic shut that whole thing down.
Do you think having that acting background helped you with your performances and or being on stage?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think there's just a through line there of like connection with an audience, you know?
Yeah.
Feeling alive on stage, being able to work a crowd, being able to feel that energy they're giving you and giving it back, you know? I think it's played a major role in my career.
Do you so COVID came, kind of kicked all that. You're like, man, what the fuck do I do?
Exactly. I'm back at home. I'm back at my parents' house here in Miami, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, bro, what do I do now? Like, I have all this time. I got nothing going on, like the rest of us. And I look over in the corner. I have this guitar that was from my childhood that I never learned how to play. I tried to pick it up 2-3 times. My parents put me in lessons, and I quit each time. Like, I never stuck with it.
No way.
And so I had all this time in the world, and I looked over and I picked this thing up and went on YouTube University, and I taught myself how to play the guitar.
You just did YouTube University. You taught yourself how to play.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any professional coaching after that?
No, it's all been self-taught. Learning songs that I loved, and it was always country, man. It was always country, and from there, I had all this time, started writing my own songs because now I could play an instrument.
Okay.
And it just bloomed from there.
This is only like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So much has happened since you picked up guitar,
God.
dude. And it's been a short 3-5 years.
Bro, an insane amount. I mean, and I was, doing that in my bedroom, writing songs in my bedroom, and then all of a sudden I connect with a buddy from high school who was doing the same thing but playing electric guitar in his garage. And so we were passing time during COVID in his garage, which we called the sweat TV because it had no AC. We'd go in there, sweat our asses off, drink our asses off, and just play.
Oh my God, dude.
And then we started playing at bars here in Miami as things started opening up.
Wait, you started playing bars here in Miami?
Yeah.
Country?
Country.
What bars in Miami play country?
Yeah, so the bars that would give us a shot, I mean, we Pub Grill, which closed, great spot. Scully's, which closed as well. We played in the parking lot during COVID, and Boogie's, and we started doing kind of like a little circuit.
That's amazing. Well, down here they're called clubs. I guess in Nashville, which we'll get into Nashville in a second, but they call them honky tonks over there.
Yeah, honky tonks.
Oh man. So that just happened. I swear, COVID was just like yesterday. And if you pick this up, that means that was like 2001, 2002, 2021.
Yeah, 2020, like 2021.
Yeah, 2021. So that a year later, you're on The Voice.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
The Voice.
The Voice. Yeah. How'd that happen? That was like you went from playing a few bars. Is that what happened next?
Yeah. So we started grinding the bar circuit here. Me and my buddy Chris. We were called the O2 Band.
Yeah.
Because his name is Chris Ortega. My name's Orlando. We did the O2 Band kind of thing. We started playing the circuit around here and building fans little by little. And then the places that I frequented, I had a gym, Peak 360 that I went to every day, and they started to come and follow and come to the shows. And,
oh man!
And so what happened?
It's really
was
grassroots.
100%. We were
right
grassrooting, and what happened was during that time, a buddy of mine saw The Voice was having auditions, open auditions, and I had seen the email because I still got like the casting notices. But I wanted no part of it, bro. I never wanted to be on Idol. I never wanted to be on The Voice, America's Got Talent. I never wanted to do any of it. And that friend came up to me one day and said, "Hey, man, I saw an email for The Voice. They're having auditions. You should do it. Like, you should definitely do it." I was like, "Bro, I'm good. Like, I'm playing my music here. I'm feeling good. We're living life." And he's like, "No, bro. Like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna sign you up for it."
What was the hesitation?
I think it was something about I think it was two parts. I think one, I didn't know if I was very good.
The fear of failing.
Of failure. It was kind of like imposter syndrome, Am I actually good at this? Do I actually have a leg to stand on here? I knew that I would play these gigs and I would get compliments. People would love to come see me, but there were people who loved me,
Yeah.
Can you trust their judgment? So I think that was one part. Another part was the whole reality TV thing,
Yeah, I can see the reality TV thing. I could understand that because maybe the stigma of it, but
yeah, I grew up. My mom always watched American Idol. She always watched all these shows, and I was like, "It's kind of cheesy, Mom. Like it's kind of corny, bro." But there's great stories that have come out of there.
Huge ones,
dude. Carrie Underwood, Chris Daughtry, all these people who I looked up to, and so whatever. I was like, okay, I'll just do that first audition. I agreed, and I was like, I'll do the first audition, so just so you get off my back. And man, the rest, 4 or 5 rounds later, and flew me out to LA, and the rest is history.
My God, you said something that kind of just triggered a thought in me. You said imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I feel like that a lot of times too. And I was reading somewhere that if you're not putting yourself in those types of situations, you're never going to grow. Of
course.
Do you ever feel it again? Has there been another situation where that's happened?
There has been. Yeah, there has been. I think along the way, and I think another part of it was moving to Nashville.
So you decided to move to Nashville. When did that happen?
After The Voice.
After The Voice.
That was after The Voice. Yeah, I'm not trying to jump the timeline.
No, I know it's not that. No, but yeah, okay. So we'll get into Nashville in a second there, but let's if you don't mind, let's dive into The Voice real quick. I mean, that was obviously a very pivotal moment because you went from playing local bars in Miami to be on the
National
national TV audience.
Yeah, yeah.
that must have been imposter syndrome that day.
That was insane. I mean, not only that day, but when I got over there, I was doing it in a tiny bubble here, bro. We were one of the only people playing country music. There wasn't a ton of live music, period, here in Miami, especially during that time. And so I get over there to Nashville, and I'm in this hotel with all these contestants, and all of them can freaking sing, bro. But I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about
Real
casual
pipes.
singing. I'm talking about these people can fucking rip. And I was like, this is crazy, man. I was in a hallway. I'm hearing these beautiful voices. I'm hearing all these incredible tones, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing here? Like,
Yeah,
what am I doing here? And so that hit me then, and it was just like, I had to push that aside and just say, I'm here with them. I'm here with them.
Well, actually, you kind of proved the point that they were probably feeling the same about you.
And I never crossed my mind.
That's because you're humble, man.
That never
You're-
crossed
you're
my
a
mind,
good
bro.
humble- Yeah.
I actually called my mom and I called my parents the first day I was there. I was like, guys, I don't think I should be here.
No.
I was like, yeah, I don't think I should be here.
That was them that's on TV when I
Yeah.
saw your clip. They were
was my
very
parents.
exciting, jumping up and down.
They were hyped, yeah.
They were hyped, of course, man. Oh, my God.
They were hyped.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do have 2 little brothers.
Oh, right. Are they fans?
Yeah, they're amazing, bro. My brothers are my best friends, my biggest support system.
Oh, man. That's so awesome. So you ended up picking Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything that you got aside from the national attention and recognition and being able to interact on the stage and giving you that confidence to know that it's something you could pursue? Is there anything else that you picked up?
Like you said, it was a big confidence boost to know that, okay, I can do this. I'm in the right world. I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. So big affirmation and confirmation there. The other thing was, like, I made a lot of friends
Okay.
in Nashville.
No way.
And that was what ultimately made me move to Nashville, because I had always wanted to make the move. Like, it's the capital of country music. It's the place I got to be.
Uh-huh.
But I never felt comfortable because I knew nobody out there.
Yeah, it kind of sucks going to a new place and not knowing anybody.
Yeah, I didn't know a
and having
soul. And so
especially here where you grow up and you know everyone.
I got
It's
everybody
like,
here. Yeah.
know?
And so that whole idea of leaving never felt good until I got off the show and I had made a ton of friends who were based in Nashville, other songwriters and artists and some that produced.
And it's is The Voice located in Nashville? Is that
No,
what
it's
it
in
is?
LA.
It's in LA.
Yeah. But
It's
they get a
LA.
lot of their talent from
From
Nashville,
there,
obviously.
I'm
Huge
assuming.
hub.
Yeah, especially with somebody like Blake and it was like Blake, Camila Cabello, Gwen Stefani, and John Legend. That's a hell of a lineup.
I mean,
bro.
it was incredible.
And they
It was
all turned
incredible.
around, dude. They all wanted a piece of
Bro,
the Cuban Cowboy.
I never thought that was
Oh
gonna
my
happen. That's
God.
one thing that if it was on my life bingo card, I would have never believed that. I was there, like I said, I just wanted one chair because I was like, dude, I just don't want to look like a fool on national TV. I just
you
want
got
one
four.
chair to turn. Never would have thought, dude.
Oh my God.
Never.
Do you ever regret picking who you picked?
I think Camila was amazing. She was a great coach. I think it was a great story. There are times that I go back in my head, of course, say, damn, I should have picked Blake. Damn, I should have picked Blake, bro. Just because, and it's also the unknown.
Yeah, you just never know.
You never know. But yeah, people tell me, man, you should have picked Blake. And it's true. I mean, that country connection, I think, he would have maybe been able to do a little more for me after the fact. But Camila was fantastic and just an awesome person. We had a good ass time. And
Awesome, man. That's great. So then that's when you decided to make your move to Nashville. Let me ask you a question. At what point did you start writing?
yeah, I've been writing music since I started picking up the guitar.
Okay, so before the show you started writing your own.
Yeah.
Do you write all your own tracks?
Yeah. Yes, I do. There's been a couple songs I haven't written just because in Nashville there's so many songwriters writing incredible songs that sometimes you get pitched music.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple that I've released, only like 3 that I didn't write myself.
How many have you released?
We're around in the corner of 20, bro, right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That must have taken a lot of work, and I'm sure that process of writing. Do you have like a process? Is it like what comes first? Is it the melody or is it the lyrics?
It's crazy because my process has changed a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Before, it always started with the lyrics because I wasn't a great guitar player. So, it always started with the lyrics. It always started with the melody. But it's changed a little bit in that sometimes now I'll just be messing around with some chords. I'll be messing around with a melody or a sound, and I'll put the lyrics
Nice.
to it. But sometimes it is just I wake up with a couple lines in my head.
And when the name of the song comes at the end, always, or in the
No,
beginning?
sometimes in the beginning. Sometimes
Really?
it starts with the title. Like I have a note on a note section on my phone that just have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of titles.
You don't use ChatGPT for that shit, no?
No,
That's-
I haven't yet.
that's all I
That's on
hear.
the dome. Yeah.
Oh, here. Oh, it's amazing. Oh man. So you picked up and moved to Nashville. What was that conversation like with your parents? Hey, ma.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, dude.
gotta
It was
do
kind
this.
of like that, and what was amazing was they were so supportive. You know, they knew that, especially after The Voice. You know, I think if I would have said before, "Hey, I'm picking up moving to Nashville," they would have been like, "Whoa, like, you sure about that?"
But after The Voice, you're like,
After The Voice, it was kind of like my dad always said, "I'll never doubt you again." After that, so
That's
it's-
amazing.
So he's like, "Whatever you want to do, I'm gonna support you." They both supported 1,000%.
at what point did Christmas become or Noche Buena become? Because I know Cuban families, right? Become from salsa to become country.
It has happened.
Has it happened?
100%. 100%. My parents never, before I started doing country music, like even when I was in love with it back in high school and stuff, my parents never picked up on it. They thought I was super weird to listen to country. They were like, "Where did you get that from,
Oh my
bro?
God.
Really?"
We're all listening to Underground House and techno. and
Yeah.
you're pumping country, and
music.
family still listen to salsa.
Yeah, and then after I started, you know, making country music, after I started singing it, and they, you know, then they fell in love with it, and now it's what we listen to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You land in Nashville. What was your first gig? I'm assuming you went straight to try to get gigs.
Yeah.
That's my assumption, right?
Yeah,
So,
we
but-
played some terrible gigs on Broadway, man.
Yeah.
Like some really bad 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. the third floor rooftop with not a soul, just playing to the bartender. In some
You got to start somewhere.
yeah, in some honky tonks that have closed down.
Yeah.
In some places that were off Broadway that nobody went to.
Mm-hmm.
For like $400 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's for the whole band, not. Yeah, we're getting paid like, I mean, less. There's places that we got paid like $50.
So you have a band that goes with you, or that is there, or do you have different musicians, or?
Yeah, so I met my band here in Miami. They were all University of Miami
No
music
way.
students. Yeah,
And they all went.
and they all went up with me.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So we started. Yeah, I formed the band here in Miami with all, like I said, School of Frost students. They graduated, and then we all made a choice. I told them, guys, listen, my heart is leading me to Nashville. I'm moving to Nashville. I love you guys, and I wish you guys the best. But they were like, all like, no, we want to come. Like, that would be cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they had all just graduated. They were all ready for a change, and none of them were from Miami. They
Got
just
it.
went to school here.
So that works probably a
Yeah.
little better. That must be like both pressure, but at the same token, like a vote of confidence. Like, all right, let's do this.
100%. But there was that pressure of like, if this goes south, you know, if this is a really
Oh,
bad
man.
move, I was the one who wanted to do this.
What
you
was
know?
the worst gig you ever played?
Yeah, like I said, we've played some bad ones, bro. I think one of the worst ones would have to be, we played a gig at 11 a or like a 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. 4 hours straight. You're not allowed to take breaks on Broadway. Yeah.
There's no like.
No breaks. You can't use the bathroom. You can't, nothing.
Yeah, of course they need the music to keep going.
Yeah, to keep going. It can't stop. And 4 hours, I think we got paid $50 a person or less. There was nobody there the entire time. We played to the one bartender who was just doing their side work. And yeah, we had a few of those.
But you know, I'm assuming it helps the resume when you're going to other places and you're like, hey, we played here, played here, played here.
100%. And then actually, one of these gigs, you know, like I said, we were playing for Soul. Somebody walks in and we're like, we're going to play for that person.
Yeah.
Like, we're going all out. That person comes to the stage and we're like, oh, you know, I was thinking they were going to request a song or tell us they were digging us. And it was actually the manager from downstairs like, hey, can you guys just like lower it down? Like, just turn it down a little bit.
That's fucked up.
I was like,
Oh my god.
damn,
dude.
all right. This is what we're
Oh
doing
my
now.
god. Oh my god. But there must have been an awesome gig that you've done, or a couple awesome gigs.
Oh,
there.
there's been a lot of them, man. I've been
What are your
blessed.
most memorable Nashville honky tonk gigs? Right
Yeah,
now?
man. There's been some crazy nights at Whiskey Row. Old Red was kind of like our spot. We played Old Red for like a year and a half solid. We would play like twice a week, and it started 2-3 times a week, and they would start giving us the great slots. You know, the Saturday nights, the Friday nights, the
Oh my
prime
God.
time slots. Place is packed wall to wall, man, and then that opened opportunities. I was even able to go open the Old Red Las Vegas bar.
Oh no way.
We were the first band to play there, and we played right before Blake Shelton.
So you opened up for Blake Shelton? did you run into him and
Yeah.
see him? Did you
Yeah,
recognize
yeah.
you from the
He
voice?
did, yeah.
That's
He did.
awesome. That must have
Gave
been
me a
felt
wink
good.
and a smile.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you should have picked me.
100%. He's always had that kind of like look in his eye. Like every time he sees me, he laughs because it's been a couple times I've seen him. He laughs a little bit and he just like gives me that face like, you fucked up. Like, yeah, Blake. Damn, dog. Can we move on, dude?
Oh my God. That's amazing. So you're in Nashville, you travel to do the Vegas gig, but you did you start traveling at some point? Or you're traveling a lot now. I saw your schedule. Like
Yeah.
When did the traveling start?
That started probably like a year into Nashville, year and a half into Nashville that it started to, we would play in Gatlinburg, Charleston, St. Augustine and Jacksonville. We played in
How do you get those gigs? Are they reaching out to you directly through socials and online, or you got an agent now?
No, I book everything myself. I've been looking for an agent, looking for the right fit there, but I book everything myself. A lot of it is me reaching out to venues. There's been some venues that have reached out to me, like, "Hey, listen, heard your song," or "I saw you play this spot. Really dig what you do."
That's
you wanna come
great.
play
So
our
the
venue?
venue's reaching out to you. I mean, that's the fact you're doing it all yourself, bro. That's number one. At least you're earning it, man.
Yeah.
Like you're putting the grind in. You can't say it was just handed to you.
Yeah,
Although it seems like a lot has happened in such a short amount of time.
it's been crazy, man.
With that ups and downs, there's no straight line, obviously. But what's been your biggest setback in your path right now?
Yeah, I think there's been a few. I'll take you to one of the earlier ones. It was last year. I was in Nashville grinding, and obviously the dream is to be a national and international artist, man. And a lot of that sometimes comes with signing a record deal. Yeah. And so that's always been a goal of mine, to sign a record deal. And I finally got the first bit of attention from a record label, Big Machine in Nashville, which was huge. And I started talking to A&R. It was all going really, really well. A bunch of meetings. I went and sang for him, and he was taking it. The final step was him taking it to the head of the label. And I waited months. And months. I would get pushed back. Like, he was going to see the guy on Friday. Then it got pushed back a week. Then it got pushed back a month. Then it got pushed back 2 months. And I was on this rope of like, he's him telling me, no, everything looks really good. I just got to get it in front of the head of the label, which is Scott Borchetta, who's the guy who basically made Taylor Swift.
Got it.
And he's like, I just got to get Scott. Bro, and like 3 to 4 months later, finally I get a random call one day, and it's from him. And I'm like, oh my God, this could be it. And I pick it up, and he's like, yeah, Scott passed. He passed on it. He thinks you're just not ready right now. And like that, it's happened to me 2 occasions. And so that hurts. And then at the beginning of this year, I had a really big setback in Nashville. I was just kind of feeling alone, feeling like I was spinning my gears. I had just got, my girlfriend and I had broken up, so that was on me as well. She went back to Miami. She came back here. The music wasn't doing well. I had another failed manager relationship, and it just felt like everything was going downhill, bro.
Well, that's 8 months ago.
Yeah.
How'd you get through it?
I came back here for a little
shit.
bit. Yeah, I came back here. I needed to reset. I was going crazy up there, man. I was like on, major anxiety, depression. Like it was just a season of just crap, bro.
When you're charting your own path, sometimes you don't know. You just got to have faith and keep pushing through.
100%.
And there's somebody that's smart always said to me, man, if you're going through shit, just keep going.
Keep going, yeah.
Because if you turn around, you have to go through it again.
Go back through it.
Just go through it again, man.
100%.
I feel you on that. You probably had some really good business moves along the way too. You've also played for some big shows too. What are some of the biggest shows you've ever played at?
Yeah, I mean, Country Bay Music Festival 2 years in a row, which was awesome.
Here in Miami.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Tony and Nelson and the team, they do a good job at that.
They're incredible, bro. They're incredible. And and to be willing to put like a hometown kid who doesn't have a national following, who's not this major country artist, to believe in me like that and put me on the stage was
awesome.
amazing.
So they took a chance.
It took a chance.
You delivered.
I felt good, man. It
felt good?
It felt like a good performance, man. I gave it everything I had.
What was your slot? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was like 12:30 to 1 or something
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yeah, it was like an
slot?
early slot, 1 o'clock. So it was the opener slot. But even then, man, to be on that stage and share it with that year was Sam Hunt and Thomas Rhett, and
That's good stuff.
it was crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing. You had another one that was pretty awesome. You did July 4th for us, man.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, for people that don't know, we did July 4th at Bayfront Park, and Orlando was a headliner.
That was awesome. That was a hell of a show. That was, and I talk about that show because it felt like a kind of a little bit of a full circle show, just being able to play that in my city at home, like for my people on July 4th, playing my songs. You know,
yeah, you played your songs. You played a few covers too.
Yeah, and playing covers and just bringing country to my city is pretty cool, man.
Man, that was pretty cool. I'll never forget because we had issues with rain.
Yeah.
So everything was pushed back. And then it was like, hey, we need you to play a few more songs until the barge gets in place to set off the fireworks for the entire city. And you're just like, cool, we'll keep it going. No break, no nothing. Just let it rip. You're like, I remember hearing, like you kept doing one, hey, we need you like in 3 minutes to like stop. And like trying to make a signal, and you're like, then he sang another song. We're like, oh shit, tell the guy not to do the fireworks.
Yeah, too much.
No, too much. And then he's like, okay. And our production guy, you maybe or don't know this, but our production guy was like, called the barge that's going to set off the fireworks for the 4th of July for the city. And he's like, he just started a Star Spangled Banner. I'm going to sing it with you, and I'm going to tell you when to press the button.
That's insane.
So while you were singing, it was actually Frankie Ruiz is sitting in the back on speakerphone with the barge, and he's like, oh, say, can he's singing it with like in his terrible voice to the phone, and it's at the Rockets red glare, and he's like, go, shoot the fireworks now. And right when Rockets red glare came out, the fireworks just shot up, and like it was. I get goosebumps seeing it, and you don't know this because you're on stage while this is happening. That was pretty memorable.
But
man.
I saw it in the videos, and people told me too. It's like, dude, I don't know what happened, but I don't know.
It was the
but
timing.
It was a perfect timing. Like you literally said, Rockets red glare, and the freaking fireworks went off. Like
Frankie Ruiz, man, that's who we have to thank.
That's
man.
Amazing.
I
didn't know that story. That's cool.
We gotta put Frankie's face on this thing whenever we do the shorts. But that was
that's really cool.
That was it. If you had to pick playing festivals or playing honky tonks, what would you pick?
Oh, festivals all day long, man. Yeah, it's awesome. It's something, it's just incredible to play play original music. Your songs on those big stages in front of.
Because when you're doing the honky tonks, you're playing everything.
Yeah, you're playing a lot of. It's mostly covers, and then if you want to throw in a
song or two of yours,
or two of yours.
You branded yourself as the American-made Cuban roots.
Yeah.
Have you? And this is like, I don't know if this is a controversial question or not, but have you found any pushback or hesitancy from people maybe in Nashville because is this guy really like from here? How does he gonna sound just because of that, or not really? Like
no, there has been. I mean, not as much as you would think, but there has been in Nashville. I think it was a thing of no one knew how to categorize me, right?
Yeah.
When I sing, I sound country.
Dude, yeah.
I sound country, and it's just natural. It's not like I put on a
fake accent
or a fake voice. That is literally how I sing, and I don't know if it's just because growing up listening to it and singing along with it, it just kind of stuck, right?
Yeah, you get stuck with it.
Right. Or I don't know. Or it was just born that way. I have no idea. But they had a hard time categorizing me, and there's always this disparity of like some people think I should really lean into it and lean into the Cuban Cowboy and lean into my roots and lean into like that Latin flair. And some people think I should lean away from it.
Yeah.
Because it might put me in a box or it might turn off some of the country crowd. You don't know. So it's always been that kind of back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth. You spent a lot of time in the Keys. I know this because I talk to you every so often. And did you feel like it seems like it does, but does some of your songs and inspiration come from being in the Keys?
1,000%, especially lately, that I've been spending a lot more time there. I love writing about the Keys. I love writing about the water. I love writing about, being on a beach, being on a boat, that's the kind of music, even the country music that I listen to the most and that I gravitated towards throughout my life. And, Jimmy Buffett, Zach Brown Band, Kenny Chesney, Old Dominion.
Yeah.
Like those are my people. And so right now.
And you hang in the country part of the Keys.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Down near Key West.
You're near Key West.
Yeah.
And you're not quite at Cree Nest. You're like, You're right before Key West.
Yeah.
It's pretty country over there, man.
For sure, dude. I love that crowd over there.
Man, my confession is that I was telling you this before we were on camera, but I grew up listening, obviously, to Miami music and hip hop, and with my background, electronic music and underground. I didn't pick up listening to country until I got a boat.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, it's like you kind of run out of music to listen to on a boat. And then actually, when we had kids, 5 years ago, when my wife and I had kids, is when I really started listening to it even more because it has less bad words. It just has less bad words, and every song is like a story.
Of course.
Have you found that? I mean, because it's never really like get fucked up with your homies. It's more like there's a story, and it's like a storyline, and I don't know. I feel like it's almost like poetic.
100%. That's what made me fall in love with it in the first place, and why I still love country music. People have asked me like, "Oh, why don't you write pop music, or why don't you write Latin music?" And I'm like, I would, but my heart is with country music because of the stories, because that's that storyteller side of me that will never go away.
Who do you want to work with next, man? I think there's before I ask you that, actually, let me rewind that. So you're in Miami now. Are you going back and forth to Nashville?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Do you have a place there?
Yeah, I have a place up in Nashville.
And you're traveling a lot. So we actually never closed the loop on the traveling. So you're traveling a lot. People think traveling a lot and performing. I'm sure like family and some friends like, oh, this guy's living the life.
Right.
He's like on a flight. He's in a different city every week, different people on stage. It's not as glamorous as everyone thinks it is.
Especially at this point that I'm at right now. But like, we're not on a tour bus. We're not staying in 4 or 5 star hotels. It's like we're slumming it in my truck. Sometimes having to pull a trailer. We're staying. If the place provides us lodging, we'll stay wherever they put us. If not, we're getting very affordable hotel rooms. And man, we're slumming it right now. So
but you're working
the grind.
You're just the grind. I honestly, that's what's gonna make it.
Yeah,
that's the point that makes it for you. By the time this airs, there's I guess I was gonna ask you where you're playing next. But what are some of the most interesting towns that you've played in?
Asheville, North Carolina, which I'm going back to here soon. I love St. Augustine. I think we've had some great shows
pretty
in St.
cool.
Augustine.
It feels like the Keys in a little way over there, man.
Which is why I love it, dude.
With the water and the whatnot. It's pretty cool.
I always said I would never, I never want to long-term live anywhere other than Miami. Miami's my home, including the Keys. Obviously, I live in the Keys in a second. But St. Augustine is one of those cities that if you pulled my arm and said you cannot live down here, it would be in St. Augustine.
Have you ever played in Tampa or?
I've never played in Tampa, and that's a area I really want to get into, like big time.
Tampa's pretty cool. The St. Pete, Tampa area is pretty cool. Have you ever been to Tortuga Festival?
I've been to Tortuga. I actually went last year, and that's a bucket list festival for me. I've been trying to get in there for a couple years now, but we
got to talk after this.
Yeah.
I have an idea for that could work for around that time of year, because we do some pretty cool stuff at the Wharf, and maybe there's we work along nice. We always try to support them. I don't know. Maybe there's something we could do at the Wharf. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. We can maybe cut this out. People don't need to hear that. Do you drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your drink of choice?
Well, I'm a gin guy, actually.
You're a gin guy?
That's my number one pick. Yeah, I'm a gin. Little Hendrix gin on the rocks. I love it.
Yeah.
Gin and soda, gin and tonic. Can't go wrong. But I'm also a whiskey guy.
I mean, I can imagine, right? American whiskey or scotches and
bourbon.
Bourbon. You you were telling me before you were a bartender in a bar back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how was that experience?
For a year. I mean, listen. I feel like. And some people say this, but it's true. I feel like everybody should work in the hospitality industry at one point in life.
Why?
Because it gives you such an appreciation for the people serving you, for the people who are working their ass off to make sure you have good service, man. And it teaches you how to have that service mindset, where you're taking care of somebody, where you're making sure someone's needs are met. I think it's important.
I think that also helps, because as you perform in all these places around the country, you also know what everybody else is going through. And I think that humbles a lot of entertainers and performers. I have a lot of friends that are obviously DJs and performers, and the ones that get it, that it's a business, that they have to see the place full. They know that they have to play for an audience, not just for themselves.
For themselves.
Yeah, and that goes a long way.
That's it's always something I've talked about as well, is like, you have to serve your audience. There's a lot of artists who feel like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. And it's easy to get into that,
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm going to make whatever the hell I want to make, play whatever I want to play. I'm not going to take no from nobody. But at the end of the day, you are here to entertain people. You are here to connect with an audience, you know, and give them what they want. Give them what they want to hear.
Yeah, you're a professional doing a job. Yeah, that makes sense, and a lot of people don't take it that way. So you've obviously traveled a lot. What's your top 3 honky tonks, bars, or clubs? Let me rephrase that because I said a little messy. What are your top 3 honky tonks or bars that you've played at in the country today?
Yeah, we have. I mean, I think Nashville's got to obviously get a nod. I think Old Red is a great place. Old Red's a really cool spot. There's another spot called the Nashville Palace, which is really cool, old school honky tonk kind of looking bar, and they play old school country music. That's a really cool spot. Actually, the spot we play at in Asheville, in North Carolina, is pretty damn cool. It's called Fitz and the Wolf. It's like a newer spot, but they're trying to make it that honky tonk vibe, and they're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job.
Incredible.
How big are these places?
Well, Old Red's pretty big. Old Red can fit, I would say. I mean, because Old Red has
multiple floors.
stores. Yeah, multiple floors. It's like all the way to the.
I haven't
rooftop.
been to Old Red. Is it on
It's on
Broadway?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like Broadway's only where it counts? Is there places off of
No,
Broadway?
I think there's a lot of that's Nashville Palace place. I think once you get off Broadway, you get more into like the local scene and the real like original music.
Yeah.
On Broadway, you're gonna find a lot of covers. You're gonna find top 40 country stuff. You know,
it's the Ocean Drive of over
exactly.
there, right? Like it's
exactly
the main street, right?
Exactly what it is.
And all the locals, I'm sure, just kind of maybe not all, but some stay away.
And then you get off of Broadway, and you find some really cool ass honky tonks, dive bars, people playing all sorts of music and original music at these just dingy looking honky tonks, and it's cool, man.
You've obviously been around a lot as a consumer, meaning as going to bars and clubs and obviously performing. I've run into it where I've had friends that are either chefs or musicians, DJs, etc., and they walk into a bar or a club or a restaurant, and the chefs think, man, the flavor of this thing is off. I would have done it this way. And a musician will walk in and be like, oh, man, he didn't do this right. I would have played it this way. Or the DJ's like, I would have played my set more like this. I think the people would have liked it here better. Or, so they become almost critics of even when they're off the clock of every place they go to. And it kind of ruins the experience for them. Mm-hmm. Has that happened to you yet?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And it's, I try to get away from that mindset, man, because it is easy to go somewhere, especially when you're a professional at that thing. It's easy to go see a show, and say, and like nitpick what's happening, what's being, the notes being sang, or if somebody's a little off pitch, or if this person's not, you don't like the guitar playing, this person's doing it. But it ruins the show, It kind of sucks all the joy out of the entertainment experience. So what I try to do now, man, is go. I love to go, I do love to go to concerts. I try to put all that aside and appreciate the good stuff that I hear, appreciate the stuff the stuff that I like, man.
That's a smart way to look at it, man. I actually have a couple fast, rapid fire type of questions that I want to ask you that I think will be fun. Yeah. And maybe you give me the one word answer and then a brief explanation of why. I think this is kind of funny and good for people to know. Actually, I already asked you one of these, but a cafecito or a whiskey before your set?
Oh, whiskey, for sure.
For sure.
Get a little loose, you get some of the nerves out.
You get the nerves out. Get some liquid courage.
Well, that's it. I get the whiskey and then the hips start moving, which is good.
Miami or Nashville?
Miami. All day.
Awesome. Is this a thing or not a thing? Country music growth in Miami, is it a thing or not a thing?
Country music is growing big time in Miami.
Aside from the festival, have you seen any other bars or clubs?
I mean, we will. Recently, we've got PBR Bar, which opened up here. There's been a lot of conversations had about bringing other country concerts down here, and I think not only by big promoters, but also by venue owners who are like, man, I have this space. I've been envisioning. I've had several conversations with people, and it's like, nobody's executed it yet, but there's a big, and if you see what's happening down at the Berry Farms and stuff, where there's thousands of people going out and line dancing and schnablies and all these places, there's a huge demand for country down here.
Do you think bilingual lyrics will make it in country?
It's getting there. I have a good friend, Sammy Arriaga, who's doing it in Nashville, and he does the bilingual stuff, and he's crushing it. and it's slowly getting there. Like it's slowly being accepted.
I have a friend that owns a bar in Nashville. He just opened up a place in Nashville, and for the life of me, I'm forgetting the name of his place. I should probably Google it and come back and press pause on this thing. But he's starting doing Latin nights on one of the thing over there, and it's like becoming a thing.
100%.
Which was crazy to me, right?
Over there in Nashville?
In Nashville.
Well, that's the thing is that just the way that country's growing here, Latin music is growing in Nashville big time, you know? I think, you know, with the resurgence of Bad Bunny and these, you know, all these national artists, they're catching on, and now that Latin influence is starting to become a thing.
Finish this sentence for me. Miami hospitality needs more blank and less blank.
Needs more dive bars and less clubs, in my opinion. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I love the clubs here. The club scene here is amazing, and I'll never. But I'm like a dive bar guy.
You're a dive bar guy.
And what I like is in Nashville, the dive bars are so unique, man. It's like it's not just sports bars, but they're themed and they all have their own vibe, and it's like I don't know. The bar scene over there is really badass.
It is. Do you have a pre-show ritual?
I do.
What's
yeah,
your pre-show
I do.
ritual?
It's a little counterintuitive, but I usually have a drink if I have a whiskey or a beer or something, and then I'll get the boys together and the band together, and I usually give a little talk and I pray with them, and then we go on stage.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't think that's counterintuitive. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. A little drink, and a little talk, and a little word with the
drink,
Lord.
A little Papa Dios.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I have a pre-show. I have a pre-venue opening ritual. Every single time we're about to open a venue on opening night, my partner and I take a shot of tequila. We're like, here we go. Let's hope this one lands on its feet.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
I love it. No, one of the things, going back to the last question, man, what I think is great, and I'm not doing this because I'm on your pod. What I think is great about what you do, brother, is you bring that kind of like really cohesive, branded vibe to your locations.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I mean, the Wharf was one of my favorite places ever.
Oh, no way.
I was been going there since I was in college. It's one of my favorite places ever. And then Regatta.
Regatta, we're smashing.
It's so sick, bro.
Thank you.
You guys just crush it with that.
Thank you. I got lucky, man.
I mean, just unique, though.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
what you guys have done is unique. You've taken the elements of what makes Miami special and put it into some really awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
places.
that. I think for us, it was. As I was telling you, my past before, we would do. I was in the nightclubs forever, and after 17 years of after hours and killing myself, those late nights, it was like, okay, can I reinvent myself, and what would I want? And in that, it was, okay, what do I want to attend? What do I want to do? What are my interests now? And I wanted to create a place that people could go and hang out and have a drink and not feel stressed out about, maybe getting too dressed up or having a headache at the door or a massive velvet robe. But also wanted to make it nice enough for people to celebrate something. And then during daytime hours, a lot of my friends, they stopped going to clubs and bars, but they would, because they have maybe families or kids, they're like, okay, can we make this family friendly during the day, but then make it a party only at night?
Party at night, yeah.
And we kind of just figured it out. And like in life, I mean, no matter how many times you get knocked down, I've lost everything in my life 4.5 times. I call it 4.5 times because there's like a half either where I lost almost everything. But well, financially, I've been in financial ruin at least 4 times, and just kind of get picked up. Time heals all wounds. It's like I was listening to who was it? It was This Too Shall Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that?
Yeah,
You're having a bad day. Don't
This
worry
too shall
about it.
pass.
The time, this too shall pass. You're having a good day.
It doesn't last forever.
It doesn't have forever.
Yeah,
This
nothing
too
lasts
shall
forever.
pass. So I was talking to another venue operator, and it's like, you're never as bad as they say you are when you're reading reviews and whatnot. But you're never as good as they say you are either.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
just keep it humble and keep it moving.
That's it, man. And that's what I've been trying to work at, is just keeping kind of consistent with the ebbs and the flows, with the highs and the lows, because there's a lot of great highs, but there's a lot of real low lows. And I think if you can keep yourself consistent mentally and spiritually through that, I think that's the balance I'm trying to find, man.
When you've played a lot, I got a good one for you. When you're going in and out of all these places, and I've seen it because I usually get the riders attached, and they've learned, because sometimes venue operators don't really understand, or management doesn't really understand what an artist is going through getting there, the equipment he needs, etc. What's a pet peeve of yours that some venues always mess up, and what can they do to improve the experience for the artists as they come through?
Yeah. I think one of the things is like sound. A lot of it has to do with sound. I think it's very important if you want to be a venue with live music. I think a sound engineer is so important.
You need to.
You have to, man. There's so many places we go to. I don't want to say so many, but there's places we go to that just expect us to run our own sound, or like have no. If you have no equipment, that's fine. But at least rent it out, get a sound engineer or whatever.
Yeah.
That expect us to not only be the band, but also be the sound engineer for the place. And it's like, it's not what we do. You know, that's not, there's people who professionally do that, who have the ear for it and the talent for it. I play music. You know, I'm not a sound engineer. And so I think that's a little bit of a pet peeve.
Man, you know what? I have a confession to make. So we have our property at Bayside, which has a big live stage. And for the first year and change, I want to call it a year and 3 months, I did not hire a sound engineer. And it was just because I was just some bands were really good, and they would the band the head of the band would EQ it himself, and then just knows how to run his sound, and it was all straight through. But then other bands just could not do it.
Exactly.
And so for a venue operator that's out there, man, for a few $100, you could just take care of that.
Of course.
Because it really does not cost that much if you're doing it consistently.
100%. You get a professional on it. It sounds, it just sounds so much better when there's someone in the house too that can be adjusting levels. Because once we're on stage, we're screwed. Whatever set is set. You know,
you're not out there listening to what it is. You're listening to their monitor. It's just like, it's nuts. And it took me. I knew this. I was just trying to be cost
effective. Of course,
cost effective.
Yeah.
And I hate myself. I hate's a strong word, but I'm upset at myself for not getting the sound engineer from day one, because the experience would have been that much better. People would have stayed longer and had more drinks.
Right.
That sound engineer maybe cost a few $100s for the night. That means that you would just needed to sell one more drink to 20 more people.
And that would have paid for it.
And that would have more than paid for it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, like, that you caught on to it so quickly, because there's venues that go years, forever without doing it. But yeah, it's so true, man. Just think about times that you've sat and heard a band, and if there's all these nasty frequencies or it sounds awful, or you can't hear the guy singing, or the guitar's on 1,000 and it's making your ears bleed, you're not staying at that spot.
Yeah. No, for sure not. What's next? You've obviously you've had some serious goals. You're traveling a lot, but there's got to be something that's next that you just can't wait to let out of the bag.
Yeah, bro, I'm so excited for what's coming up. So I'm releasing a project next of a 6-song EP called the Summer Six Pack. And in typical Cuban fashion, it's late for the summer, but we're getting it there. We're getting it out there, and it's all coastal country songs. I was on a plane back in March when I was going through this kind of low season of my life. I was flying back to Miami because I needed a breather. And on that plane ride, I had this idea pop up, and I was like, what about an EP called the Summer Six Pack? 6 songs, all coastal country, all with this tropical kind of island vibe, which is what I love to write.
Yeah.
Why can't I get that done? And so I made some calls, and I actually partnered with some of the people over at Pitbull's label, Mr.
Nice.
305 Records, in tandem with some people from Nashville, from Sony.
Good.
And we made this project. So Chris Daniel, Phil Moore, who's another artist and songwriter in Nashville, and Chris Locke, who's the producer. And we wrote it all in the keys.
Nice.
And now all the songs are produced out now. I've released 2 songs on the project. Another one comes out tonight at midnight. Well, at the time of recording this.
I got it.
Beer's back home. And then there'll be 3 other songs being put on the project.
Wow. So the full EP will be out when, do you think?
End of October.
Nice. We got to get this thing.
End of October.
We got to get this thing edited and put out by then, man. We got to really pump it out for him. Dude, that must be really exciting, because I was reading your profile on Apple Music on the way over here just to brush up on it. It's like, one of your goals is to release an EP, and here you are doing it.
Made it happen, bro. Made it happen. Kind of. It's
nice.
been cool, man.
Any other goals you have coming up that do you want to earmark now so we can look back and be like, I'm doing this next?
There's several, man. I mean, I think one of them top of the list is to play Tortuga. That's been on my list. To play the Grand Ole Opry.
Okay.
I pray that happens in the next year. And to start playing shows in a bunch of cities and a bunch of markets that I haven't been before.
Nice.
So we're chipping away at that, and I think we're crossing we're crossing cities off the list.
Man, I'm really, 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 really happy for you, for a Miami guy to do what he's doing, and being successful, and I couldn't be prouder and super happy for you. I'm happy to have your friendship, dude. I'm stoked, man. Is there anything? Is there anything that we didn't cover that we should talk about?
No, I think another thing is another one on my list of things to do is to get a feature on one of my songs with like a big Latin artist. I think that's
like a cool crossover,
like a cool
Latin artist?
crossover Latin artist kind of thing. I think it'd be really cool. We're working on that right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Any Latin art? Anyone in particular that you're like?
You know, there's been names thrown around. You know, I mean, there's a lot of influences that I have. I think Juan Luis Guerra would be cool.
God,
I think
cool.
Mark Anthony would be really cool. You know, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Pitbull, you know, you never know.
Yeah.
But we're trying to make something happen.
Oh man, maybe we have to put this out, make sure they hear this, and hopefully one of them jump out at it. If there's ever anything that we could do for you, man, we're fans first
Thank you,
and
brother.
friends. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I mean, this is awesome, dude.
Awesome,
This
brother.
is
Thank
awesome,
you.
bro.
That's a wrap, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Industry Talks.